The feeling often starts with a screen, a retirement account, an index fund, a portfolio that was supposed to represent patience. You open the app expecting reassurance and instead see numbers moving in a direction that feels unfamiliar. Not catastrophic, not dramatic, just enough to create hesitation. A few years ago, the same investment might have felt like the safest financial decision available. Now the experience feels different. Every market decline appears larger. Every headline feels more urgent. Every period of uncertainty seems to last longer than expected. The investment itself may not have changed, but the feeling surrounding it has, and that difference reveals something larger than investing. Because for a long time, safety in finance was understood as distance from risk. The farther you stayed from speculation, the safer you became. Save consistently, diversify, stay patient, avoid unnecessary gambles. Most people did not adopt these ideas because they wanted extraordinary wealth. They adopted them because they wanted predictability. The goal was not excitement. The goal was to stop worrying. That belief made sense. For decades, many financial routines appeared to reward consistency. Contributions happened automatically. Retirement accounts grew slowly. Market declines felt temporary because recovery eventually followed. The relationship between patience and confidence seemed relatively straightforward. Even when people experienced losses on paper, they could often rely on something more important: time. Time provided emotional distance. Time allowed uncertainty to feel manageable. Time transformed temporary discomfort into something easier to tolerate. But many people have started noticing a subtle change. The investment may still be considered safe, yet the experience of holding it no longer feels equally safe. That distinction matters. Because safety is not only about what happens inside an account, it is also about what happens inside the person watching it. A small realization often appears first. The portfolio falls, but daily life continues becoming more expensive. Mortgage payments remain, rent remains, insurance remains, subscriptions renew, utility bills arrive, the grocery receipt keeps expanding. The account balance may represent future security, but the monthly obligations exist in the present. And present pressure tends to feel more real than future promises. This creates an uncomfortable tension. Many people are simultaneously more invested than ever before and more dependent on immediate financial stability than they expected to be. The result is a different emotional relationship with risk. A market decline that once felt temporary can now feel connected to much larger concerns. Not because the decline itself changed, because the surrounding environment changed. Visible changes are easy to identify. People notice volatility. They notice rapid market reactions. They notice headlines arriving faster than ever. A notification appears on a phone during lunch. Financial news plays in the background of a commute. Market updates arrive before the workday even begins. The flow of information never fully stops. But beneath those visible changes sits a deeper mechanism. Modern financial life increasingly asks ordinary people to participate in systems they cannot directly influence. Retirement planning depends on markets. Future purchasing power depends on markets. Long-term goals depend on markets. Even people who have no interest in investing often find themselves connected to it through retirement accounts, pensions, or automated contributions. Participation has become normal. Dependence has become normal. Yet influence remains limited. Most people cannot control interest rates. They cannot control economic cycles. They cannot control global events. But they still experience the consequences. The psychological effect accumulates slowly. Years ago, checking investments may have been an occasional activity. Today, it often becomes part of a financial routine. Not because people suddenly became obsessed with markets, because uncertainty became easier to monitor. A portfolio can now be checked while standing in line for coffee, during a meeting, on a crowded train, late at night. Access creates awareness. Awareness creates attention. Attention creates emotional exposure. And emotional exposure changes how safety feels. A person can technically hold the same investment while experiencing it very differently. That is where another realization appears. Many financial systems encourage behavior that unintentionally increases psychological pressure. Automatic contributions continue. Accounts grow larger. Balances become more meaningful. The numbers represent a larger share of future expectations. At first, growth feels reassuring. Then, growth creates something else. Sensitivity. A 10% decline affects people differently when the account represents decades of work. The larger the role an investment plays in future plans, the harder it becomes to view fluctuations as abstract. The investment remains long-term. The emotional experience becomes immediate. This creates a contradiction that many people struggle to articulate. The financial behavior itself may be responsible. Saving consistently, avoiding speculation, contributing regularly, following common advice. All of these actions increase future security. Yet they can also increase emotional dependence on outcomes that remain uncertain. The very behaviors designed to create peace of mind sometimes create greater psychological exposure. Not because the behaviors are wrong, because the stakes gradually become larger. Most people recognize this feeling somewhere outside investing first. A promotion increases income, but also increases obligations. A larger home increases comfort, but also maintenance. A growing lifestyle creates convenience while reducing flexibility. Investing often follows a similar pattern. A larger portfolio creates opportunity, but it can also create a stronger emotional connection to preserving what has already been accumulated. The relationship changes. The account stops feeling like a tool. It starts feeling like something that must be protected. And protection creates vigilance. Vigilance creates exhaustion. This is where the experience becomes personal. Many responsible people have spent years doing exactly what they believed they should do. They avoided unnecessary risk. They saved consistently. They delayed gratification. They accepted uncertainty because they believed patience would eventually reduce it. Then they discover that uncertainty never fully disappears. It simply changes form. The concern is no longer whether they are investing. The concern becomes whether the future they built expectations around will arrive exactly as imagined. That question appears during ordinary moments, looking at a statement after a difficult month, checking an account before paying bills, watching investments decline while everyday expenses continue rising. None of these experiences are extraordinary. That is precisely why they matter. The pressure does not emerge from dramatic events. It emerges from repetition, repeated exposure, repeated monitoring, repeated awareness of how many future plans depend on systems that remain beyond individual influence. Over time, the consequence extends beyond investing itself. It affects decision-making. People become more cautious, more attentive, more focused on preserving existing positions. Sometimes flexibility decreases without being noticed. Financial plans become harder to adjust. Career decisions become harder to make. Risk feels more expensive, not because circumstances are necessarily worse, because dependence has increased. The future becomes increasingly tied to maintaining trajectories that were once viewed as optional. And that may be the deeper reason safe investing feels different now. The investment is only part of the story. The larger story is how modern financial life has connected more people, more deeply, to systems that shape their future while remaining largely outside their control. The account balance reflects one form of exposure. The emotional weight attached to that balance reflects another, and those two forces do not always move together, which raises a question that extends beyond investing itself. If more people are building their future around assets designed to create security, while simultaneously feeling less certain about that future, then the issue may not be contained inside markets at all. It may be revealing something about the relationship between financial safety and psychological safety, and those may no longer be the same thing.